All right, guys. So we have got some news for you. This is Joe and Ricky's last show. We're done. Like we're handing in the towel. We're over it. Psych. April Fool's Day. Yes, if this is your first time, I am Joe the psychologist, and this is my partner in crime, Ricky, and you are watching Holiday Horror here on Horror Fiend TV. And I mean, I had to start it with a prank. I was like, I'm not even going to tell him that I'm going to do this in the beginning just because I wanted your face so that way you're like, wait, what's he doing right now? So, yes, you ready to talk about this one?
I'm ready, motherfucker. Let's go.
But yes, so today we are going to be discussing the 1986 movie April Fool's Day. We're going to treat this discussion we're going to have almost as if it's been a hot minute. So let's do it as if you were watching the movie almost for the first time, type of thing. But
This was my first time.
what? That was your first time?
I've never seen this movie.
Oh wow! All right, well there you go. I've seen it a couple times, but there are so many 80s actors and actresses in this movie. Like from horror comedy, I was like, wow, this is like a time capsule movie with so many people. And if you watch the episode previous to this, it was Leprechaun,
Oh,
and
jeez.
Ken Olan was in Leprechaun. So I was like, how random we get two back-to-back movies with Ken in it. I mean, as Ricky said, it's his first time. If you have not seen the movie, obviously our shows will ruin because we're going to spoil things for you. But Buffy invites her friends out for the weekend to a cabin that she's going to be inheriting. And I've said this before on every single show we've done. Nothing good happens going to a cabin. So, I would not have gone, but that's okay. She and her friends go to the cabin, and, off the bat, you get an accident with one of the crew hands on the boat. And from there, things just start going downhill as one by one our characters are killed while you're watching this movie, because the movie does something a little kind of already weird as it is with how they switch the Muffy and Buffy in there. It's pretty obvious. I mean, you had to have noticed it. But still, were you sitting there like wondering who was going to be the killer? Like which one of the obviously it's somebody that's in the friend group. So which one in the friend group is the one that's just has it for the entire group? Were you looking at anybody specifically?
Oh man, I hate that you. I had a feeling you were gonna ask me this.
Mm.
The problem is, and this really changed my viewing experience because even though this was my first time, I knew the twist in this film. I knew everything that was gonna play out in it. So the problem with me watching this movie is knowing that there was like there was no mystery for me. The only mystery was like, all right, I know it's got to be Muffy, right? Muffy.
Muffy's the one that brought
Yeah,
him
yeah.
in, and
I
then
knew it was
Buffy. The
Muffy. I knew it was her because in the very beginning you see her already planning everything, and plus you get the flashback when she's a child playing with the Jack in the Box, and that's her first experience of getting pranked. But it kind of ruined it for me because knowing, I mean, we're gonna spoil it right now. I mean, obviously it's all a giant prank, right? So knowing that these characters are not really getting killed, and they all get killed off screen, so there's no gore, which is fine because I'll get into that later. But it, I'll be honest, man, I did not like this movie because of that, and I was like, man, all right, you know what? I'm gonna watch it again. I watched it a second time today and I enjoyed it so much more. I wish I never knew about the spoiler. I would have probably been even more like into it. But watching it after completing it the second time, looking for all the clues and all the hints, and if you really sit back and say to yourself, this is not really a horror movie. It's a parody of a horror in a sense. It's kind of like they mentioned it, Agatha Christie. Her name was name dropped. It's a who done it, but in a more theatrical sense, and that it works. And the reason why this movie works is because you don't see the characters getting obliterated. So if you would have some all really get like killed physically, and then they all pop up then it's gonna be, oh come on guys, what the fuck? But then when you go back and look at it, wait a minute, they were all killed off screen, and when you see who is the person confronting them right before they're about to be pulverized or slayed, killed, slashed, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, all right, it makes sense. It's interesting movie. It's different. Is
It
what
is
I would
very,
say. I wish I would have went in not knowing the premise about it. Like I said, I probably would have enjoyed it more. But watching it the second time, I like it now. I appreciate it. And it's just you got to go in there with that mindset. But overall, you mentioned the cast. Oh, I love the cast because they really did feel like friends. They felt authentic.
yeah,
You know, everybody stood out. No one like faded into the background. No two characters were alike. And you buy that they were actual college people. You know, they're privileged. You know, a lot of them were just they come from money, but and they act like that, and they don't do it in a way where it's over the top. They're still immature, which is the best part about it. And
yeah.
this, Jesus Christ, we'll get into the cast, but I mean, tell me from your point of view because you saw this originally back when it was. I'm
When it
assuming
first
back
came
when it
out.
first came out,
Oh
and
yeah.
you, I doubt you didn't know what there was no internet
No,
back then. So,
no. So it was
what's your experience? I'm curious.
it was so because I knew nothing of it.
Did you and
I
also to throw it back to you, did you had an idea of who the killer was before the twist?
First
I'm
time
curious.
watching it, I sat there and was like, obviously it's one of the friends. And so yeah, you're sitting there trying to pick up on the clues. What I will say the movie kind of did a little bad is just the fact of is Buffy's her the other twin
Buffy.
because it was too almost it was too obvious. You know what I mean? Like once it starts happening, because you're like, well, all right, did Muffy get up hungover? You know, is she hurting? Is that why she looked so rough that morning? And she disappeared. She was trying to eat something. She didn't want anybody to see her wearing any makeup. But then, it's
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Then all of a sudden she's mousy, she's acting a little crazy, and I'm like, it's like right there. So obviously it's going to be her.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they all going to figure it out? But then when they give you the whole thing about her twin sister having escaped the mental hospital, you know, again watching it the first time the thought when you're watching it the first time, oh shit, it's her crazy
You
sister's
bought that
out now.
story then.
Yes. So I did, which explains why, Buffy was not acting like Muffy. It's fucking Buffy. So she's probably pissed off at her twin sister, showed up to kill all her friends and ultimately kill her. And no, that necessarily wasn't the case. And you're right. Like watching it, none of them are killed on screen. Like the closest that you would have thought was and I didn't write his name, but I remember him from Back to the Future.
Biff.
Biff
Biff.
was when he
Arch.
almost got bit by this
Arch Cummings.
Archie. Oh Lord, what a last name! But when he almost got bit by the snake,
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
thought that, but yes, they don't show it.
Mhm. Which
And
she called out at the end, like, "Oh, I didn't plan that. No, that's not what I was
yeah, that
thinking."
wasn't part of my thing. But I on the from when I remember seeing this, I thought it was great. And obviously we'll have to discuss the big twist in it, but I thought the movie was great because it was a bit of a whodunit, and now you want to know why the sister's doing it, and then they just sit there and basically pull out the rug from under you, and you're going, "What?" It was a different type of slasher.
Yeah.
It was a little
Eight
bit, like kind of like
86.
Scream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was you had everybody's been out by now, so this movie came in there in between there,
That's what's
and it
crazy
was
about
completely
this
different.
movie. Yeah, because it's 86, and when I saw Biff, for example, and I saw, the guy who plays, Chad, um,
Him and the blonde are from
they're
just
f
one of the
just
guys.
one of the guys, and I'm saying, "Oh my god, this is when these actors are younger, this is before," but it's around the same time frame, bro, like,
Yes,
why do they look so young in this movie, but in, like,
Amy
Back to the
Steele.
Future Amy Steele, obviously, but I mean, she looks the same, I mean,
She
even
does,
though
but it's again, it's a cast that you are.
you're
It
familiar with.
actually
Yeah,
has a really good familiar cast, which is weird
yeah.
how it just didn't. It did. From what I remember, right? Everybody loved it when it came out, even as divisive as it was.
I'm assuming it has a cult following.
It has a cult following, and again, the only thing about the movie is because of the twist that they use, it's always ruined for you. Like it's not like like when you rewatch Saw again, and
Yeah.
yes, he's gonna be there, but just the way it's done, it's different than knowing that at the end it's in the title. So I mean,
Different times too, man. Like their idea of fun is drinking beer at like 12 in the afternoon and kicking the soccer ball around. You know what I mean?
there were simpler times. Think about
Yeah,
it.
that's what I
Think
mean.
about it in the '80s
I
when
know.
when we were
I
hanging out, we
know.
hung out outside.
Yeah, yeah. Well, not me. I mean, no, you're right. You're right. As a kid, I was outside,
Yeah,
but
if you
as a
were on a bike.
teenager, no, 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 not so much. Would you consider this a horror film, right? I mean,
It is a horror.
it's
It,
horror.
it's only
It's like a
it's a
to me, it's
comedy.
a play on horror, but it's
Yeah.
interesting because all right, let's say it is a horror film, right? It's not beat around it. Was this the only horror film that's labeled a horror film? Like especially a slash with no kills in it? There's no kills in this movie, man. If you think about it, no one died.
Yeah, pretty much. I would.
And I don't
Yeah.
mean like a comedy horror.
Yeah. No,
I'm
I know.
talking about
I
like
know.
you
But it
know,
just anything labeled.
like no scary movies or stuff like that. That don't count. That's all
No,
parody. But yeah,
yeah. No, I don't know. I don't think there is another movie that I can think
interesting.
of
Yeah,
where, unless it was another
at
movie
least
where
one
it
that
was
I
some
haven't
type of
seen.
a
Yeah,
type of prank was played,
yeah,
then
yeah.
maybe. But yeah, not that I can recall for right now. If you guys know one, let us know in the comment section so that way we can check it out. What was ruined for you on watching the movies because you already knew the
Hmm.
entire twist? You know that Buffy was really Muffy, and that what she was trying to basically start up, which thinking about it back in 1986, it was pretty ahead of its time. They wanted to do like a bread and breakfast, like a weekend.
Oh, that's a nut. Yes, dude, you're right. Good
Yeah,
call because another reason why the film works as far as the narrative within the twist is her explanation makes sense. Like if you're
yeah,
a bunch of friends and the way she explained why she did what she did, I'll let you get into that, but it's plausible. I could see a bunch of like college people getting together, especially and they're like it's a private school of liberal arts. So they're all like they're in theatrics, most of them,
yeah.
you know. So
One's a filmmaker. I
yes,
mean, that's the best part is that the
yeah.
filmmaker wasn't going, something's not right about this whole entire thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
should have been picked up on it. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, I like when the explanation was given, and again when it got to the reveal, the prank, Adam goes, "Wait, what the fuck?" And I'm just smiling because I hit at this point. I didn't want. I just because I'm just was waiting and waiting, and I'm like, "What?" He goes, "What the hell's going on here?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? What the hell is going on here? They're not dead." And I'm like, "Adam, it's in the title of the movie,
You
okay?"
should have just said April
Cool.
Fools.
And he's like, "What?" And then when she started explaining it, he said the same thing. And I agree. The explanation is what makes the film solid
That's the
because,
genius of the film, yeah.
yeah. And they figured out a
They played the
way to
audience.
fuck with you to then go, all right, and all of that, when she was just like, you were in on it, they weren't in on it until they were killed,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, yeah, again, that's another thing too. It's not like they all went in to prank, Kit and Rob.
Rob,
That's
no.
not that wasn't the whole point. Yeah, they were all getting pranked essentially, but then like, for example, when, Arch was hanging upside down, right? And then the figure appears in front of him, we know it's the Ferryman guy now. He probably got him down, and he was probably with Muffy, and she explained, "Listen, listen, this is what I want to do. You got to, you hope you know what I'm saying. Play along, play along."
They've been doing April Fool jokes all weekend long
That
since
would
they
have drove
got
me
there.
nuts, man. That
I,
imagine,
I
imagine
know.
taking a sip of beer and it fucking spills out. Oh man, I hate getting wet too, bro.
I gotta call one plow hole while it jumped into my head right now before I forget it, especially once the beer kicks in. So when Kit went to start the tea and the black water came out,
Yeah,
and Buffy said the water main must be broken or something like that.
man.
But then later on, when Kit's trying to leave and she goes to,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
the water comes on. I'm like,
Well,
I
I don't
thought the water
see.
main was
You know
broken.
what?
Like,
No, I
where's
I took it as at the time she disabled the waters to get the people to go to the well because that's where she laid
mm,
the fake heads and the fake body.
all right. All right. You
So
know what? There you
that's
go. I've seen this a whole bunch of times. I didn't think about it that way. Like, so it was a trick on her part. The whole thing, entire thing is a trick. But yeah, it's honestly, it's what makes the movie itself. It stands alone as a time capsule
Yeah.
again because of the actors and everything, but the twist and then giving you such a plausible explanation so that you don't feel like you literally just got fucked when you watch this movie. How did the twist land out? Even though you knew it, but it was your first time. Like,
Mhm.
did you appreciate the twist in the movie, or do you kind of are one of those people that you're like, I hate this movie because of the twist?
Well, the thing is, when I saw it, knowing everything that's gonna happen, I just didn't enjoy the movie, just knowing all this shit's fake. You know, I was like, oh god, this is like I'm trudging trying to finish this movie. But that was, this was the first time I saw it. But before we filmed this, I'm like, you know what? I want to give it another chance. I don't want to go in here and be negative. I just saw it once. I need to see at least another time, knowing what I know now and putting pieces together, and I enjoyed it so much more the second time, and I understand it, and I think the twist is perfect, too, because the way it was explained, it wasn't just a like, "Aha, we got you." No, there's a reason for it, and the way she explained it, and if I'm her friends and she explains, I'm gonna be like, "Fuck, that was awesome." You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even be mad. Plus, y'all got fucked up right after, but the twist works. It works because, again, you said it, Joe. It's in the title. So if you
Yeah,
if you went in expecting anything else, like, come on.
that's I think that's literally the brilliance. That was like my
Yeah.
argument. Trying to explain what Adam was feeling. I'm like,
Mm.
what did you expect? I mean, literally the whole movie has been pranks. So, he's like, well, I thought it was just gonna be pranks gone wrong. I'm
And it's
like,
funny because
no.
it's about a pair of twins as well. And we just finished the monkey, and again that dealt with a pair of twins. So when I saw the picture, I was like, okay, wait a minute, who is this? And did they get me at the end when it's, oh no, the Skip, he's the actual
He's the
twin.
actual
He's
twin, yeah.
twin, yeah.
I'm really not that interested in him. Come on, man, just one more. Double or nothing.
Yeah, enough's enough.
What are you scared? Hey, I said give it a rest. Oh, fuck.
Did you know that the actor who plays Skip, they did the prank and they got the guy Buck who got his face fucked up, but not fucked up. Not too long after this movie, he was the actor who plays Skip. He was involved in an actual boating accident that killed Francis Ford Coppola's son.
Oh God.
He
No, I
was
didn't know that.
indicted for manslaughter. So talk about like,
Weird, like, oof.
yeah, bro. It's like, what's that term when life imitating art? Like, geez, man. And that
Yeah.
was the end of his career. Apparently, he had a lot of substance abuse issues too, so which led to that. But yeah, it's movie's fascinating. I want to know more about it. Reading the background on this film, it's funny because the who directed this? I don't even know who the director is, honestly. I don't know what he's
His
done
name was
before,
Fred
but
Walton. Yeah, I didn't check on what he might have
no,
done before.
I'm not sure. But interesting that this film, I like the tone. I like I said, the actors, the way the chemistry they all have with one another. I wanted to be in that house. That seemed like fun, except for all the pranks, man. I don't. The poor guy just trying to read a porn mag and the fucking chair falls back.
Yeah, I'm not. So the chairs is one of the pranks I'm not a fan of. I'm not,
Yeah,
because nah,
physical, anything physical is nah. I'm all set. Or I
nah.
don't want to get wet either, whether it's the drinks or the fucking faucets, man. I'm all set
The
with
wet
that
part, I
shit.
don't mind. I
I
don't
hate getting
mind.
wet, man.
But
Oh, I hate it.
falling down, yeah, no. Sorry.
Amy Steele, bro. Amy Steele's awesome. She is. Let me tell you. You know what sold the end to me, though. To be honest with you, not only the explanation by Muffy, but Amy Steele, her reaction to it all. Like when she
Mm-hmm.
runs into the room and she sees everyone, and she's like, she doesn't like, she's like in shock. Like, what? And she
The
looks
processing.
back.
She did that mental processing
Yes, you could
physically.
see
Well
it.
done.
And it was so like realistic, and I loved how she played that off, man. Like it was so like subtle in a sense where you could see her thought process, like you just said. It wasn't like over the top cartoony. She wasn't like yelling and screaming. She was like, "What the? Are you fucking serious?" And
But
then
poor
Rob was
Rob.
in there. I
Dude, I
love you.
felt bad. Yeah,
I
I
love you.
know. When the guy comes out, he's like I love that they made the tough guy like completely like sit there and fall apart and screaming
That was
because this
Nathan from
dead guy.
Leprechaun. I'm kidding. I'm like, fucking Joe, this holiday horror. He got me watching Nathan, and now he's Rob.
Well, if we're watching it, and I was like, "Isn't that the guy?" I'm like, "Wow!" Like,
That's
how
it.
ironic is that? That we
Yeah.
like. We'll see if he pops up on any of the other stuff.
The original ending was, at least it was in the script. They filmed a couple, but I know one of the original endings was that Skip actually, I don't know if he plotted or he actually did murder Muffy for all the inheritance money. And they were like, "Nah, we want to end this more like on a light tone. We don't want
And
to,
it did,
yeah, we don't."
making you feel that
I,
Nan
I
actually
prefer
killed
this.
Muffy
Yeah,
now, and then
yeah,
that Nan it played a joke on her
yeah,
because she scared the shit out of her because
yeah.
she thought that she was really bleeding. She's
That
like
was cool.
touching
As
her
soon as
neck.
the puppet popped out, boop, they grab her from behind, and yeah, I want one of those fake knives, man.
Yeah, those would be
Man,
awesome.
that
Those would
would,
be awesome. I thought about that too.
Oh, come on, Chess, just say something.
I knew that we had to do this one. There's just going to be no way not to do April Fool's Day because again, it's called following. I think that people trashing it and hating it because of the whole twist is a little on the ridiculous side. You need to lighten up just a little bit, especially considering what did you want? The same thing you already seen on
yeah.
Friday the 13th, Halloween. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You actually saw something different. You didn't see, yes, it felt like the run of the mill 80s slasher. So then it fucking just goes to you. Nah, it's not what you were not watching at all, man.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
so surprise, surprise. And that's why I feel like the movie should get its love. And definitely it even going in knowing it, when you go back, Muffy's right because as you're watching it, the way that she perfectly put all these clues, but she
If you
successfully
if you
showed.
if you watch the beginning of the movie when she's frolicking around with that mannequin picking up in the basement, she opens that window in the basement and leaves it open and walks out. That comes into play later because that's what led Kit and Rob to go into that same window to get into the basement when
Yep.
she locked all the doors.
It's
So
I
that's
think
what
it
I
was
mean.
I think
Going
it's
back,
awesome that
they
it
have things in motion to kind of
and
set
it's
things
all
up
in
for
there,
later. Yeah,
which gives so much credibility to her explanation.
yeah.
Yes, you have to see the movie, you know, 2, 3, 4 times because you just gave me another reasoning in my head, that I didn't had thought about. So it's still this movie deserves a lot of love.
There's
I
still
mean,
things I'm not sure of, like what is like the weird like heroin paraphernalia? What was that all about? Like when she put it in the medicine cabinet, the guy with
so
the
I think those are all their secrets. So what I thought for
oh
Nikki, that's why I'm saying all of them,
oh that's
Hal was in a car accident and he killed someone. They're so rich that that just got, he
oh
still was able to go
really?
to school. Yes.
Hold on, keep going.
So and then that means that Nikki may have done
SMN?
dominatrix
Yeah,
or
yeah.
she's a college girl, pretty, and again,
Oh, she
trying
was
to go by
smoking too,
tropes.
man.
She
Ah,
was
she was
smoking in just one of the
smoking.
guys. When I
Oh,
saw her,
I
I'm like,
loved
it's
her
the
with
girl
just one
from
of the
just one
guys.
of the
Yeah,
guys. And I
I
liked
love
it.
that fucking movie, dude.
That's an awesome fucking movie. Did
Guilty
we just
pleasure,
talk
man.
about this too, though? It's
We did,
weird. I feel like,
yeah. Of course.
wow, deja vu here.
I'm a sucker for transitions, and the transitions when Chaz was talking about the Wang, and then it transitions to somebody opening up a pack of hot dogs and putting them in the fucking grill. Like, I love shit like that, man. It reminded me of My Bloody Valentine, which we did for the show too, when they had all the hot dogs boiling in the fucking pot, and I don't know why. Hot dogs make me laugh. I don't know why, dude.
I love hot dogs.
Hell yeah, man.
Can I get a hot dog? It wasn't, like a April Fool's. Like it was just the reasoning, the logic, the whole explanation. The fact that no, I couldn't tell all you guys I was going to do this because I wasn't going to get your genuine reactions.
Yeah.
I needed you guys to walk around here and be scared and trying to find a way out of here because that's what I want my guests to feel when they
Yeah.
come here for the weekend.
One last thing. I also liked when Rob was like, Muffy, you could have gotten yourself killed. And she's like, yeah, that she highlighted a few examples, but then she says, of course, the guests will all come in with with the expectations of what's gonna happen during the weekend, and it's the thrills and scares are not going to be as severe because they don't know. This group didn't know what was happening. But if you go in there paying for this experience, okay, you know everything's gonna be fake, but you're paying for the experience, so you're not gonna try and kill somebody. You know what I mean? I like that they actually threw that in there, that quick little line. It may seem like a passing line, but again, it adds credibility to everything you just seen, and the characters are not made to look stupid, and they're not just doing it for the sake of just doing it. It's the reasoning behind it, and it fucking works. And when she said that, I'm like, God, dog, they really did touch all the bases when it came to the script. A script so shallow in a sense, but all the
But
little
not
details,
really, though.
exactly all the little details that they could have just left out because they were lazy. No, they were not lazy. They threw them in there
they
for
were there for-
plausibility, and it gives
Yes.
it gives it more credibility as a film. And I love those little details.
So you cheers April Fools to me then.
Cheers, April Fools. I would
I
definitely
think-
recommend this movie. It's funny because I almost rented this, and I found it streaming somewhere. And, oh, all right, cool. And then when I saw it the first time, I was like, oh fuck, good thing I didn't spend money on that shit. But this is a movie. If I find it, I'll buy it. It definitely is worthy of the collection.
It's okay to watch something that's a little different, and I would definitely recommend this one. And if you've seen it, and you have a friend who hasn't seen it, and you go, do you know anything about this movie? And they say no. Put that movie on and sit there. So that way the show you're going to watch is watching someone's initial reaction to the entire movie. It's an awesome experience to see somebody else experience what you, especially if you didn't know, like it was, like I said, it sucks for you that you knew it. But when you didn't know the twist, you're never going to capture that feeling again. So the only way you're going to capture that feeling is watching somebody else watch it for the first time. So that way you can see them experience what you felt, and you're reminded the brilliance I find actually to be of this movie.
Last question: why did Hal have a gun?
I don't know. I probably just to protect himself. Honestly, I think that the only thing I can honestly think. Well, no, honestly, because like I said, because he was involved in the accident.
Yeah, I asked you because maybe there was something I missed. But
no,
yeah,
it's funny. Out of all people to have a gun, when he went to go sit down, I'm like, he's
the-
gonna shoot his asshole out.
what is this guy? Country ass accent. This guy was driving me crazy, bro. All right, brother. Good show, brother. Good show.
Yes, of course. And so the holiday cheer and holiday horror is going to continue on. Next month is Mother's Day. There are a couple. We haven't decided which one we're going to do. But yes, on the next holiday horror episode, it is going to be Mother's Day. So until then, make sure that you check under that seat before you sit down, because you never know. It is April Fool's Day. Somebody may be playing a joke on you. Until next time, I'm Joe the Psychologist. Rick?
Stay scared, motherfuckers.
We're out.
April Fools.
Too bad you're crazy. Too bad you're loony as hell. So long, it could have been swell to get